What are some of the common mistakes that companies make within their maintenance practices? Is there a kind of a usual suspect list of, oh yeah, we've seen that before? That's fairly common?
There's quite a few, and this isn't specific to an industry because we work across all kinds of different verticals, if you will. Some of the big stuff we see is just not very good PMs. Inspect pump, inspect blower, that type of stuff. What am I looking at? What's the failure mode I'm trying to detect? We don't have that. Every single mechanic that's out there doing that work is going to give you a different result. So how do you know if that PM is actually effective? So, making sure you have very descriptive PMs, we know exactly what we're looking at, that sort of thing. That's one of the big ones. The other thing we see a lot of is we don't have good job plans. Our mechanics go to do work, but they don't have a good parts list. They take something apart and they're missing half the parts. So now they got to put it back together with worn or broken parts, get it to chug along for the next couple of weeks until those parts actually show up. So that whole work management process. Lastly, I'd say one of the big things, precision maintenance side of things. When we take something apart and we put it back together, is it actually going to start up and run correctly? Is it going to last as long as it should? So I'll use a V-belt, for example. A lot of organizations, if V-belt fails, what do we see the mechanics or technicians doing? They cut the old V-belt off and they roll that new V-belt on. Now, what do we just do there? We at least half that life of that V-belt because we stretched it. We may have damaged it when we rolled it over the pulleys. There's also a big safety risk there with potentially catching your finger and so on and so forth. And as a result, that belt's not going to last as long as it should. So by focusing on those precision maintenance techniques, we should actually get the life out of the components we're installing. How many people actually get the L10 life out of a bearing? Very few.
You stated earlier that education without application is just entertainment, which I get that. In looking at some of the video of your training, there does seem to be entertainment. There are clearly ways that your company is designed to make the learning experience, I think fun is probably the wrong word in this context, but maybe maybe it's right. There seems to be a lot of exercises outside of torque settings and pulley, stuff like that, that really creates almost like leadership training and team building and things like that. Tell me more about some of those out of the classroom experiences where you're building the teamwork capabilities of a person and less so technical matters.
Yeah, absolutely. So for that example you referenced earlier where they're on the flight deck with that looked like a hole, that's a whole activity that you can use for root cause analysis, team building, leadership, all those different things. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll give it away for those that have not yet done it. But that is a simple 10-15 minute exercise that really emphasizes the need for leadership, communication, roles and responsibilities, and getting everyone on the same page. Some of the IBL trainings that we do as well, we may leverage one of those escape rooms as an activity in an afternoon or an evening where that team has to learn to work together. They got to work through those different problems and apply some of the root cause analysis techniques, if you will, in more of a real life setting. So we leverage a lot of those things because what we find is if it's not interesting, if it's not fun, people aren't going to retain it as well. So by doing those types of activities, leveraging it, whether it's on the flight deck, whether it's in an escape room, there's a whole host of other things that we'll do, makes it enjoyable so they remember it. And when they remember it, then they're able to apply it.
Join us on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month for new episodes of Reliability Matters.